stands
Oh
next
my
to the shadow
God!
and says, "With this, our blood."
Oh my
it is
God!
The hanged kings.
Everybody's
All
possessed.
cast members hang themselves. Meanwhile, people from the audience fought against each other.
What is
They were
going
hitting
on
one
here?
another. Some people seemed to have psychotic attacks, while others were suffocating themselves
Yo!
to death.
Now, there's a handful of SCP videos that I always wanted to take a look at, but I never got around to doing it, or I never got the chance to actually take a look at those SCP videos. And so that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. We're not going to be taking a look at one, not two, but 3 SCP videos today, yes? Before we get into that, you guys obviously know I gotta hit you with the friendly reminder to deal with that subscribe button real quick so you can take your boy to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so if you may, go ahead and talk to that subscribe button real quick and let him know that you're with it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video, shall we? Let me actually just go ahead and clean my glasses so I could actually see what we're going to be watching today, yes? Without further ado, let's actually go ahead and jump right into the video this time. Now this one is titled SCP-701, which is The Hanged King's Tragedy. Yes?
Initially, the play was about a king and his son who gets kidnapped.
Okay.
However, as the rehearsals progressed, many changes were made to the storyline, but they were considered orderly and consistent. No one objected to the last-minute changes, and everyone was happy to improve the play, even if it meant that they had to rehearse multiple times. Towards the final rehearsal, a black shadow had been appearing in the scenes as reported by the cameraman.
Is that a part of
None
the play?
The cast members saw it,
Is that...
so the cameraman's remarks and statements weren't given any importance, and the play went on schedule.
Well, damn.
On the day of the annual play, about 100 people sat in the audience to watch the most awaited play of the year.
My bad, just put him on
phone on silent. The play was
silent.
named The Hanged Mystery.
Yeah.
The play began when Gonzalo gave his speech for a few minutes. The speech was moving, and everyone clapped. After about 10 minutes into the play, during Isabel's ravings, a shadow not belonging to any cast member appeared on the back wall of the set.
But this is gonna be the one, this is gonna be the guy that f***ed everything up for the play. I've never seen this SCP before, so this is my first time seeing it, by the way.
No one really noticed the shadow, and the play continued. The story was going on as originally planned, but then a shift occurred in the text.
Yeah.
Francisco and Cortazan were about to converse, but instead, the curtain drops and Antonio enters on the stage.
Oh,
Something
that wasn't
seems
supposed
off.
to happen, right?
The shadow appears again on the stage, and this time, Antonio spots it and acts surprised. But the shadow soon disappears, so Antonio resumes his role. Antonio begins a long soliloquy, confirming that he now believes Isabella's story.
Okay.
The writer of the original script raises his hand in disagreement, as he had not written Antonio's speech in the script. He gets angry and leaves the theater in resentment.
Who leaves? The cameraman leaves the theater in the... So, what? What? Okay. Bye, then. I guess this play isn't getting put up on YouTube.
The play continues as written in the original script again.
We got a whole bunch of stuff going wrong here.
Again towards the end of Act 2, Scene 1.
Maybe somebody's putting like their finger over like the lights. You know, the people controlling the lights up on the auditorium, like on the top. Maybe someone's like, oh, accidentally puts their hand there or something. I don't know.
The shadow follows Gonzalo's when he leaves the stage. The play continues and the shadow appears yet again on the edge of stage right as Gonzalo and Petruccio murder Sortino and order the cooks to prepare his dead body as a stew.
Oh, damn.
This wasn't
Somebody
part
dies?
of the final play. It had been cut. Why was this included? The play resumes and Antonio kills Isabella. Again, a shadow was spotted. The play continues and Gonzalo notices the shadow and nods at him as if he knows him. He is the first cast member to notice the shadow.
Okay.
The play continues. Antonio enters the stage, stops in front of the shadow who hands him a long dagger. The play resumes as scripted, but then something goes awfully wrong.
Okay.
Antonio appears in front of Gonzalo and says, "With this, the tribute is paid in full." The actor then uses the dagger and draws it across Gonzalo's stomach, spilling his intestines across the stage.
So this is real. This is real. They're out here killing people for real on stage in a whole play that's supposed to be an act.
The audience starts screaming as the play no longer remains a play.
Oh my
A murder had been committed, but nothing was
A
stopped.
murder got committed right
Linda
there.
appears on the
Live.
stage, takes the dagger from Antonio, and says, "With this, fool's blood, it is the hanged kings." She cuts Antonio's throat. Ropes are dropped from the stage's ceiling for each cast member. They assemble in a line. Alinda stands next to the shadow and says, "With this, our blood,
Oh my
it is
God.
the hanged kings."
Everybody's
All
possessed.
cast members hang themselves. Meanwhile, people from the audience fought against each other.
What is
They were
going
hitting
on
one another.
here?
Some people seemed to have psychotic attacks, while others were suffocating themselves to death. Once joyful, the theater had now turned into a bloodbath.
Well, that escalated quickly. What happened was very suspicious. That escalated quickly. Damn! 1 minute they're having a normal play, right? Then somebody does something. The cameraman is like, you know what? F this.
Don't ask me to do your show then. Don't ask me to do your fucking show.
As soon as he leaves, 2 minutes later, somebody commits a murder. Another girl commits another murder. The audience is going crazy, stomping on people, choking people out. Y'all saw that? Oh my God.
There was blood everywhere, and the screams were echoing. Upon hearing these screams, the guard of the theater stepped inside and was shocked to see what was going on. He immediately called the police, and the police took over. When police entered the theater, some of the officers came under the influence of
What is going on
and
here?
they too started
Oh my
fighting
God.
and murdering people with the guns they had. Gunshots were heard and more deaths followed.
This is a mass murder.
SCP Foundation and FBI reached the theater. The case was handed over to SCP Foundation. They wore protective suits and entered the theater. SCP professionals dragged out the survivors, and they were sent to the hospital for recovery. It took them 24 hours to get back to normal. Many people were interviewed, and they reported the scenes from the play.
Yeah.
Camera footage was obtained by SCP Foundation from the theater. It was cut when the cast members had hung themselves. Hello, I am Dr. Cat.
It's not Dr. Bob this time. This time we're looking at Dr. Cat. We will be taking a look at Dr. Bob in the upcoming SCPs, yes? But today, or as of right now, we're looking at Dr. Cat.
I have taken over the case of SCP-701. The Foundation has not yet been able to contain SCP-701, and the investigation is ongoing. 701, also known as the Hanged King's Tragedy, is a Caroline-era revenge tragedy in 5 acts. It is a play which follows psychotic and suicidal behavior among
look
the
at all,
observers
what is
and
this?
participants.
What is this?
A mysterious figure, SCP-701-1, also appears like a shadow during this play, up until
I know exactly how I'm gonna make the thumbnail. I know exactly what I'm gonna do for the thumbnail.
now. This play has claimed between 5,000 to 14,000 lives over the past 300 years. It is to be noted
14,000.
that performances of the Hanged King's Tragedy do not always end with an outbreak, which is quite strange. About 36.78% of performances of the play have ended up in tragedy, and these outbreaks follow a general pattern. This pattern starts 1 to 2 weeks before the event. During the rehearsals, the original play's script is changed to a different script, and no one really notices the changes being made. Instead, these changes are considered as orderly and consistent, as if the story is being improved.
You guys hear screaming? Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Ah, Jesus Christ, my whole entire ass hurts. Oh, that's from doing all them squats. Oh, okay.
If someone from the production or cast points out that the play has changed, the others say that it has been this way ever since. Then 2 to 3
Even though it
hours before
hasn't.
the event, the outbreak occurs during the opening night when there is an audience. Then 1 to 2 hours prior to the event, SCP-701-1 starts appearing on the stage in the final scene of Act 1. He only appears on the stage and never backstage. Finally, during the event, SCP-701-1 fully appears on the stage during Act 5. The cast starts murdering each other, and people in the audience
Everybody
start
is
being
committing
violent.
homicide.
After the event,
Like they just got out of a Playboy Cardi concert, bro.
survivors exit the
Not got out, like they're in a Playboy Cardi concert. Everybody's
premises.
committed
It
homicide.
takes about 24 hours to return to their normal personality. At the Foundation, we have special containment procedures for every material that is related to SCP-701. These materials are to be kept in a triple-locked archive.
The
at
original
one of the
plays
storage
and stuff like
sites.
that, right?
The items cannot be removed from the storage room, and unauthorized access to the facility is prohibited.
Well, what are the items? Are
Currently,
you gonna...
the Foundation has
Okay, then.
obtained and stored items
Okay, me then.
such as the
Don't
2
tell me.
currently extant copies of the
Okay.
1640
Okay, yeah, so it's sorry for pausing. It's the items of the plays and
Quartet,
whatnot.
27 copies of the 1965 trade paperback edition, 10 copies of a 1971 hardcover printing, 21 floppy diskettes consisting of data seized from raids, One VHS
Yeah,
video
you gotta
cassette
make sure
tape,
people
and
forget
one
about
steel
this
knife
play.
of unknown origin.
Make it lost
Despite
footage.
the Foundation's best performance, we are still unable to stop SCP-701. The first known publication of the Hanged King's tragedy was as a quarto, which was dated 1640. No one knows who the author of the play was, but it looked like someone who was a fan of Shakespeare's work, as the story resembles Hamlet and Titus Andronicus.
Also somebody who was into witchcraft, so he probably put like some spell on the play, so to make it so that, you know, whoever, you know, reenacts the play, you know, so like everything's gonna go way south and then everybody's gonna commit homicide. Witchcraft.
The publisher of the play is William Cook, who disappeared from historical record. The publication history of SCP-701 includes original 1640 quarto. All of its known copies are in Foundation custody. 1733 folio edition. It was republished in 1790. Then there was 1813 Cambridge University Press edition, 1965 trade paperback edition, and 1971 hardcover edition. Its publication becomes available on the internet under different titles.
On YouTube,
The origin of these copies has not yet been found, and we are looking on it as of now. As soon as we find its copies anywhere, we tend to destroy them on site to avoid any possible event.
Makes sense. Now this
You're
one
deep
is
in the middle
titled
of a late night
SCP-4975. It's called Time's Up, and this one's by everybody's favorite Dr. Bob, yes?
Study session. When you hear something,
I'm not deep in the middle of a late night session. I'm deep in the middle of recording a YouTube video, and we're 12 minutes in the recording, and it is late night. So, and then I'm gonna be deep in the middle of editing, so I can get this out before, like, on time on Sunday.
it's
A lot of
sort
work cut out for
clicking
me.
sound. You try to ignore it and get back to your books, but there it is again. You turn up your music. There, that's better. It was probably nothing. Just the house creaking. But no,
Yeah.
there it is again. You need to figure out what is causing this.
Maybe he's got some mice, some rats running around. Maybe he's got that type of infestation. Maybe there's like a bird like at a window somewhere. Maybe something's happening outside. You never know. You never know with
You
these
look
type of
around.
things. Old house.
Is it coming from outside your window? Another click. It's definitely coming from outside. You slowly make your way to the window. It's dark out, and you can't see anything with the glare. Slowly, you reach out, grab the window, pull it open, and nothing.
So maybe it's just a full-on
You
ghost
stick your
then.
head out and look around, but
Maybe it's just a whole ghost. Maybe he's got one of that going on.
there's nothing to see. You close the window and go back to studying. But then, it happens again.
Oh.
The next morning, you're eating breakfast when you start to hear that clicking noise again. But still, nothing is there.
Or maybe he's got that what do you call it? What do you call it again? Let's Google it really quickly, yes? Let's go ahead and Google it. When you hear clicking in your ear. Tinnitus. Tinnitus is a problem that causes you to hear a noise in one ear or both ears. In most cases, people who have tinnitus hear noises in their head when no outside sound is there. People commonly think of it as a ringing in the ear, can be roaring, clicking, like what's going on in our guy right now, buzzing or other sounds. So maybe our boy's got tinnitus.
On the bus, you could swear it's coming from the seat right behind you.
You need to go get that
No
checked
sign of
out.
anything
Go
once
see a
again.
doctor or something.
You're in the middle of your test. Vertebrae are connected to each other by... what's the word? It's not going quite as well as you hoped. It was hard to study last night with the constant clicking, but you're giving it your best. At least the noise has stopped, so you can concentrate for a bit.
It's a final exam. You better pass that.
You jump up and look behind you, determined to catch what's making this noise. But there's nothing there. You look around at your confused classmates.
Yeah, everybody
before
looking at you like,
sheepishly sitting back
what's
down.
wrong with you, bruh?
The cracking noise is almost endless now. You can hardly go a moment without hearing it. It goes on like this for
Elden
months
Ring?
and months. No one else can hear it, and no one seems to believe you. On one level, you've been able to get used to it, but on another, you never have adjusted to the constant clicking that follows you everywhere you go.
I can see how something like this
You're
could be
sitting on the
annoying.
floor of your room, concentrating, focusing hard, trying to will the noise out of your mind. You clench your eyes shut as hard as you can and put all of your mental energy towards stopping the noise, when just then, it's gone. No more clicks.
That's that's
You
big.
open your eyes.
Oh,
Could this
that
be it?
thing's
Could it all
huge.
be over?
Oh. Oh, wow.
You turn around to see it.
Hi. Hello.
But it's too late.
He's dead. He died.
What you have just witnessed is a textbook example of an SCP-4975 attack.
Yes.
An anomaly that has been aptly nicknamed Time's Up.
I don't know. It was one SCP. I think it was this one. This SCP that I wanted to do a live reaction for. Not live reaction, like a reenactment, like a live reenactment. So what I did was I took like the full audio clip of this video and I just reenacted like live in person of what he was saying. And I made it halfway. Again, I'm not sure if it was with this SCP. I gotta look back on my files on my computer to see. But if it, say it was this one, so I got like up to halfway and then I completely scrapped the project. I don't know why. It would have made for a killer video. But yeah, I did that.
SCP-4975 is a tall, thin entity with some vaguely avian features, most notably a beak. Its long limbs lack any distinct digits, instead tapering off into formless nubs, and a thick, hardened layer of dark skin covers its entire body, including its beak. In addition to its striking appearance, SCP-4975
That's what you got going
is
on,
perhaps
bruh?
best known for the distinctive clicking sound that it makes. The
Damn.
vertebrae in its long neck are not connected by any intervertebral discs or other tendons, and each of these neck bones appears to be able to move independently of one another. It rotates these vertebrae constantly, one at a time, from bottom to top, ending at its head, creating a constant swinging motion of the head back and forth.
Doesn't it get tired?
It is each movement of these vertebrae that produces the distinctive clicking or cracking sound.
Yeah, doesn't it get tired of doing that? Like, don't you want to take a break or something?
SCP-4975's primary behavior is the pursuit and stalking of human beings.
So that's what was going
Once
on
it has chosen a
outside his
target,
house.
for reasons that still remain unknown, it will begin to follow them, and only the target will be able to hear the clicking sound, though they won't be able to determine where the sound is actually coming from. SCP-4975 will continue to stalk its victims for an extended period of time, as long as 10 months or more.
10 months of tinnitus. 10 months of tinnitus. Jesus f***.
Until at some point, it stops swinging its head, the clicking sounds cease, and 4975 attacks.
10 months.
In an attack,
Okay,
SCP-4975 uses
He's having
its
fun
long
with it, you
appendages
can
to
tell.
club and tear the victim
Yeah.
apart.
Oh,
after
ouch,
which
ouch.
It will consume them, often starting while the victim is still alive. One single human-sized cadaver appears to be enough to last SCP-4975 for several months, after which it will target a new prey and begin the process all over again. Evidence of SCP-4975 has been found as far back as 1538, with a creature very similar to it appearing in numerous German folk tales. Multiple artistic depictions from the time also show a large, black avian creature that can only be assumed to be the same anomaly. In what should be a bit of good news, SCP-4975 is currently in containment at an SCP Foundation
that's
facility,
good.
where it is confined to a standard steel
That's very
containment
good.
cell.
So they got him.
However, as you'll soon see, this containment has not resulted in the end of SCP-4975 attacks.
I think, in a practical sense, this would have to be one of the most annoying SCPs out there. Not the most dangerous, but the most annoying. Dealing with tinnitus for 10 months, like straight, hearing clicking sounds everywhere you go, constantly. I know they got the top 10, top 5 most dangerous, most like world threatening and stuff like that, but I don't ever think they got a video where, you know, they have like a top 5, top 10 most annoying SCPs to actually deal with.
And reports of new incidents continue to come in. In one such report from the Black Forest region of Germany,
Like another one would be the statue. I forgot what SCP number that is, but I think it's on my channel somewhere. But yeah, that statue.
Foundation agents were investigating the case of a local man who had reported that he had been hearing a rhythmic clicking sound for over 4 months.
Tinnitus?
The man assumed he was being stalked, or was the subject of a cruel prank, and asked the local authorities to look into the matter. The Foundation agents took the man into custody, giving the cover story to the local police that the man had been experiencing auditory hallucinations and paranoia as a side effect of an experimental chemotherapy he had been receiving. The agents took the man...
What did that say? Police? Police?
Side effect of an experimental chemotherapy he had been receiving. The agents took the man to the last place he had heard the clicking sound, which was a wooded area. As they walked through the forest, the man grew increasingly nervous until he stopped and pointed at a tree, claiming that it was where the sound was coming from. The man froze in fear as the agents drew their weapons.
Don't worry,
and
mans are
prepared to
strapped up
inspect
in the
the
back.
tree.
They're ready.
They split up and with a tactical efficiency circled the tree on either side to find nothing.
Of course.
At the same time, the man screamed, pointing at a creature the agents could not see that the man claimed was coming for
Start
him.
shooting! Start shooting!
The man was thrown
Start
to the
shooting!
ground by his invisible assailant and struck
Okay, yeah,
multiple
this is what's
times.
happening. He's dead
the
now.
agents attempted to attack
Start
where
shooting
it
and
seemed
shoot
the
all over
invisible
the place.
creature should be, but their fists and weapons passed through the air as if
No,
nothing
he's
was there.
dying. He's just gonna die then.
Another agent attempted to drag the man away, but
He's
he was
just gonna
pinned
die
down
then.
by a mysterious force. A large wound began to
Oh
appear
my
in the man's
God.
midsection as his abdomen was opened up.
This is painful.
Still unable to move the man or stop whatever it was that was attacking him, and with no other options, a Foundation agent took out his
Terminate him
gun
on the, yeah,
and
terminate him on the
man.
spot.
Moments later, as the agents looked on, strips of flesh began to be torn from the body and
Start
vanish,
shooting!
as if
Start
an invisible
shooting!
creature was feeding on the deceased man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's low-key my reaction on the inside.
This invisible attack wasn't even the strangest part.
Yeah.
At the exact moment the man in Germany was killed and devoured by an unseen force, SCP-4975 was observed to be standing motionless, staring at the southeastern corner of its containment cell, and it was no longer clicking its neck. Any human contact with SCP-4975 has been disallowed, and all current research into the creature has been temporarily ceased, though it has been classified as Euclid. Following these continued attacks and the bizarre behavior it exhibits as they take place, reclassification to Keter class is pending.
Okay. Okay.
In the event that a containment breach takes place, it is official Foundation policy that any personnel who begin hearing a persistent, rhythmic cracking noise are to isolate themselves from other staff and calmly wait for SCP-4975 to be returned to its chamber, or for the noises to stop.
Or for them to be terminated, unfortunately. That's kind of harsh, but it is what it is. It's what has to be done.
Perhaps as you wait for the clicking noise to cease, you can amuse yourself with an old German nursery rhyme that is believed to have been written about SCP-4975.
Interesting.
Its translation goes, tick-tock, the cuckoo clock ticks. Cuckoo, the bird inside sings. As ticks the time, so ticks your heart. May you live long as you hear its song.
Yeah.
Listen close, for when it stops, the hatchling comes out of its home. Did you hear it? Did it stop? My child, it meant your time
Was up.
was up.
And you finally
Now go and
perished. Whew. I had to put that in. My bad. I had to put that in. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last SCP for the day. Yes. Now this one is titled SCP-973, which is called Smokey. Let's dive right into this
a group
video,
of
shall
friends
we?
are driving down the highway late at night.
I was doing that one time. I think because I'm in Canada. You guys don't know Canada, Montreal, Quebec. So I was driving from Montreal all the way to Ottawa. And on our way home, I was in this exact same situation. It was, oh my God, driving at home on like, in an area like that where it's just like trees. It was so dark. It was like so dark. I couldn't see a thing, even with the lights. I was like, and there were parts where I was like the only car on the road. So the only thing I actually saw was like a couple like feet of the road in front of me and nothing else. Everywhere else was just pitch black. It was scary and kind of cool at the same time, but a little scary.
They're on their way home from a concert, and after the long night of dancing and partying, all of them are feeling quite tired. The radio is turned off, and after so much loud music, the silence is refreshing.
Okay.
No one is talking at all.
Okay.
And in fact,
All of
the
them are
driver
wasted.
notices that both his girlfriend sitting next to him, as well as his friend in the back seat, have fallen asleep. The driver tries to make sure that he doesn't do the same as the car moves down the long stretch of straight, empty highway.
Yeah.
The
Scary.
driver's eyes.
When I do that and I see my friend sleeping on the side, I always like to, you know, put the temperature at like a nice cool temperature for sleeping and turn down the music a little bit. I'm a little bit of a hospitable type of friend, yes.
Start to grow heavy, though. He can feel the weight of sleep starting
Oh,
to
don't
press
do
him.
it. Don't
He
do
turns
it.
the radio on at a low volume, but that only staves off the drowsiness for a moment.
All it takes is this. All it takes is this. Like your hand on the wheel, all it takes is this. And then you're dead. That's all it takes.
He can't fight the approach of sleep any longer.
Especially at the speed that this guy's probably going at.
His eyes start to close. As he drifts off to sleep,
Oh.
his foot presses down
Oh.
slightly more on the accelerator.
Oh,
The driver's head slumps to the side as the car gains speed and begins to pull to the right of where it crosses the white line, marking the
2 more
edge of the
seconds.
highway.
2 more seconds.
The tires dip
Yep,
off the
you
road
gonna
into
die.
the dirt, and the sudden change causes the driver to jerk back awake. He quickly swerves the
You
car
caught
back
yourself,
onto
huh?
the road.
Everybody
The
felt that.
sudden
Everybody
jump
woke
causes
up. There we
both
go.
the
You
passengers to
see?
wake up. Is everything okay? The driver tells them that he just swerved to avoid an animal in the road.
Sure you did.
That's right, nothing
Your punk went to sleep, and you over here lying.
to be worried about. They can go back to sleep. As both of his friends close their eyes and try to go back to sleep, the driver spots something. Lights have appeared in his rearview mirror.
Just like
It's a
that.
pair of headlights. He
Already.
didn't notice a car pulling out or speeding up behind him, but he must have missed it when he was dozing off.
Yeah.
His heart is still racing from when he drifted off the road, and he's trying to regain his composure, but it's about to get a whole lot harder, because when he looks in the mirror again, he sees that the telltale red and blue lights of a police cruiser have lit
Police
up behind
officers.
him.
Shit.
Oh crap, oh no, the driver says out loud.
About to get a hot
Everyone is
ticket right
awake
now.
and aware of the cop behind them. They grow nervous and start freaking out. Not all the activities they had partaken in at the concert were, strictly speaking, technically legal in this state. What do we do? The driver asks. You've got to pull over, says his girlfriend.
What do you mean?
The
Well,
cop car's sirens
yeah.
come-
Yeah, I hate when they say that, but there's, yeah, you gotta pull over. You gotta pull over. I always get the urge, you know, just like, I've never been in this situation before, but when I see situations like this on, like, in, like, movies and, like, what I'm seeing right now, the intrusive thoughts start coming in. I'm like, no, don't pull over. Go on a high-speed chase, bro.
This is serious. But then something strange happens. They hear a voice in the car, coming over the radio. It's too quiet to hear, but when the driver turns up the volume, the message comes through loud and clear. It's a gruff voice that keeps repeating the same phrase over and over. You better run. How is this message coming over the radio? They don't know, but the passenger in the back seat agrees with the voice. They've got to try and run. They have to get out of here.
That's suspicious. That's very suspicious.
The driver's girlfriend is screaming to pull over. The cop car speeds up and is right behind them now,
Oh.
almost on their bumper.
This car's got
Its lights
speed.
flashing and sirens blaring. The driver doesn't know what to do. Should he pull over? Should he try to run?
Run, b****.
Everyone is yelling.
Why are they yelling for? Why, if you're in a situation like that and you're in a car, the best thing you could do as a passenger is to not yell. If you yell, you're gonna mess everything up. Like, shut up.
Starts to push down on the accelerator, but then thinks better of it. There's no way this old car can outrun a cop. Finally, he makes the decision to brake and starts to pull the car to the side of the
Oh,
road.
damn.
The police car comes to a
Gotta
stop
do what you
behind
gotta
him.
do.
The si-
He doesn't know he's about to come across an SCP. All three of them are gonna die right now.
Sirens are off, but the bright lights are almost blinding.
I'm calling it.
They sit in the car and await their fate. But nothing happens. The car is just sitting there behind them. After what feels like a long while, the door of the cop car finally opens. The three passengers watch silently as a highway patrol officer steps out and begins approaching their car. The driver tells everyone to relax, that this is going to be just fine, but the passenger in the back starts to panic. He can't get arrested. If he does, it will mean that he loses his scholarship. He'll get kicked out of school. His whole life will be over.
Yeah.
The highway
That's tough,
patrol
my guy.
officer reaches the car. Despite it being late at night, he's wearing dark aviator sunglasses that cover half of his face. He stands in front of the door to the car and waits.
What is he wearing
The
sunglasses
driver,
at night
feeling
for?
nervous and afraid, rolls down his window. The police officer doesn't move or react, though. He just keeps standing next to the car. Good evening, officer, the driver says. No response. The driver turns and looks at his girlfriend in the front seat, but all she can do is shrug.
That's suspicious.
He turns back to the highway patrolman. Did we do something wrong? There's another long pause, but then the patrolman finally reacts. He bends over and leans in close, sticking his head practically through the open window and putting
Okay,
his
bro,
tight-lipped
back up,
face
damn.
right next to the driver's. Do you want my license and registration? The
Yeah,
driver
what's wrong with
asks.
you?
The patrolman doesn't respond. He reaches up and slowly grabs the side of his dark aviator sunglasses. He pulls them down, and the driver finds himself staring into a pair of bright, red, glowing eyes.
It's the SCP. They came across an SCP. On the radio, it told them to run. They were from the start, because I think they mentioned that a car like that was not gonna outbeat the police car. So
Everyone in the car starts to scream as the thing standing in front of them opens its own mouth to reveal a big, black...
Damn, he could open his
no
mouth
gums,
wide.
Teeth, a horrifying void in its face that screams right back at
There's
you.
a lot of things that this guy could do
As
with
you may
his
have
mouth.
already deduced, this was no normal traffic stop, and
Obviously.
certainly not a normal highway patrol officer.
Obviously.
No, the entity that this group of young adults encountered that evening was one that dozens before them had the same misfortune of running into, and one that the SCP Foundation is actively trying to stop from engaging in its frightening and dangerous behavior. This is SCP-973.
SCP-973. I said it with him.
SCP-973 is not one, but actually two separate entities.
Really?
The first,
Okay, yeah.
designated SCP-973-1,
The whip?
is a police cruiser that appears to be a model similar to those used by actual state troopers during the early 1970s. And its condition is much like you would expect for a well-used, nearly 50-year-old vehicle, with much of it being in an advanced state of disrepair. Eyewitness accounts of SCP-973-1 have described the police car as having numerous dents on the doors and hood, cracks in the windshield, multiple rust spots, and a rear bumper that looks to be held on with duct tape. The vehicle's driver and sole occupant has been designated SCP-973-2. This humanoid figure has an appearance that resembles a Caucasian male in his late 40s. It is dressed in the state trooper uniform that, like 973-1, also looks to have come from the early 1970s. And eyewitnesses have described him as being slightly overweight, balding, and sporting a handlebar mustache. Both the anomalous car and its driver will appear at night in a specific location along a particular U.S. highway. It is unknown exactly what will cause SCP-973 to show up on this road, but Foundation researchers have hypothesized that its manifestation may be triggered when a vehicle accelerates over a certain speed. You may think you're safe then if you stay below a certain speed, but unfortunately, you'd be wrong. It's unknown exactly what speed limit infraction will lead to SCP-973's appearance, with reports ranging from 35 miles per hour all the way to 70. But when it does occur, the driver will find that they are now a target. SCP-973 will materialize roughly half a kilometer behind the targeted vehicle and will approach them at a high rate of speed. SCP-973-1 sirens will turn on and its lights will flash, as it also somehow broadcasts a message into the targeted car that is picked up on the car's radio, a message that urges the driver to run, often accompanied by several expletives.
You better, okay.
In most cases, the targeted vehicle will abide by the instructions over the radio and begin to flee.
Yeah.
Though it's unlikely that this is due to any mimetic effect. Rather, it would seem that most run out of pure terror.
Yeah, bro.
SCP-973 will then pursue the targeted car, leading to a high-speed chase.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Whoever can reach home first. That's what's good. That's what's happening here. Whoever can get home first. That's the game. That's the game.
No matter how fast the targeted car is, though, the SCP-973-1 police cruiser will always be faster. And it typically takes no more than 6 minutes for them to be overtaken.
Yo, you better rear end me. Rear end me, bro. We're going all the way until I make it home. High speed, all the way. That's what's gonna happen.
SCP-973 seems to have no qualms about ramming into the fleeing car, which likely accounts for the extreme damage present on the patrol car. While it is unclear exactly what happens once 973 forces the targeted vehicle to stop, either through their own choice or by being rammed off the road, the results are quite disturbing. The vehicle that fled will later be located somewhere near SCP-973's spawning location, usually within roughly 6 kilometers of the road. Whether the vehicles that are found that far from the road drove there in a panic or were somehow transported there by anomalous means isn't clear. What is clear is that the occupants of the cars met a truly grisly fate. Their bodies will show signs of extreme violence and assault, including evisceration. And some have been so badly maimed and mangled that visual identification was impossible. The vehicles themselves are badly damaged, showing signs of impact from another vehicle, and severe burn damage is often present in the interior.
Oh my god.
So far, over 34 individuals and 19 vehicles have been designated as victims of SCP-973.
Oh my god.
Though it is likely that the true number is much, much higher.
Oh my god.
Perhaps most terrifying of all is that some of the victims survived. The Foundation has recovered 5 individuals from sites of SCP-973 attacks, who, in addition to their gruesome physical injuries, also suffer from varying levels of ongoing mental trauma.
Makes sense.
But why not just destroy the road that SCP-973 appears on, you ask? Well, the Foundation had this same idea, and in 1983, the section of highway affected by SCP-973 was demolished in an attempt to stop it from manifesting.
Like
This
this
attempt failed, though. All this led to was SCP-973 changing its location, where it immediately began engaging in the same deadly behavior. Numerous attempts have also been made to try and capture both 973-1 and -2. In one such event, several teams of SCP Foundation containment specialists were dispatched to its section of highway
all
with the
strapped up
mission
and
to
everything.
subdue and contain the anomaly.
Yup.
After multiple attempts to get SCP-973 to appear by driving down the highway at various speeds, a car carrying several agents was finally successful.
Okay.
And they spotted the flashing red and
All
blue
right.
lights of 973-1 behind
You about to
them,
let it rip
as
on
the
this?
message telling them to run began playing over the radio. With no further warnings, the anomalous police car closed in on them, even faster than the agents were expecting,
Okay.
and immediately began ramming into their car. A van filled with additional containment specialists was dispatched to the area to help, and when they reached the area that the GPS
Okay.
tracker on the pursued car led them to, they found that they were too late. SCP-973
Start shooting,
had
shoot
pushed
that-
the agent's car
shoot
far off
him.
the road and was ruthlessly tearing their bodies apart. The arriving containment team
Yeah,
immediately
let it
began
rip,
firing
bro.
on 973
Like this
in an attempt
up.
to save their fellow Foundation agents. The team's weapons appeared to cause
Oh,
some injuries
he
to
doesn't care.
973-2, showing that it is perhaps vulnerable to lasting damage, just like the 973-1 vehicle is. In a
He doesn't
post-mission
care.
interview, one of the agents described SCP-973's new appearance. His eyes were red, and his mouth, it was just a black hole.
Yeah.
No teeth, no tongue, just a hole. No other reports would come from this incident, though, as this agent was the only survivor.
The bullets did nothing. He doesn't care.
SCP-973
This guy needs real smoke then. He needs real smoke. I'm talking about bombs and rockets.
He killed the other 9 agents and fled the scene. While it is believed that the Foundation team was able to wound the anomalous creature, it was neither contained nor incapacitated in any real sense.
You need more
the
force.
next report of a 973 incident occurred just 9 days later. SCP-973's ability to seemingly appear at a new location and the difficulty it has shown in being contained has gotten it a well-earned Euclid classification. The roughly 60 kilometers of highway on which it is known to appear is under satellite surveillance at all times, and all traffic between 10 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. is diverted along a non-highway detour route, by force if necessary. Unfortunately for the SCP
By
Foundation
force.
and the general highway-using populace, these security protocols have necessitated frequent updates, because while the area that SCP-973 engages in its predatory behavior on is well known, both the time of day during which it will appear and the area it seems to affect are expanding.
That is no good.
Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob, like SCP-745, the headlights.
Or, instead of doing that, since you're on my channel, you can go ahead and take a look at one of the videos that I have put up over here. It's just one video, so I'm gonna leave one video for you guys to go ahead and watch right after this video was done, or you can click it right now and go ahead and take a look at it. With all that being said, I will see you guys next time with a brand new video, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like I said, don't forget to talk to my subscribe button real quick. I will see you guys next time with a brand new video. Oh yeah, this is the wrong hand. I'm doing it this way. That felt weird. Oh, that was not a good one. Let me do it again.